tell me we're camping over here.
Do we get out of here?
Let's go. There's no bugs out now. It's freaking winter.
Murdered?
Played with your whole life? Steve. Are you the Steve? Are you one of the twins? You are Steve. Make it look
Listen, they all that was doing this, but he said
Aggressive Spirit. On October 26, 2019, YouTuber Caleb Cox uploaded a video documenting an eerie Ouija board session with two of his friends. At first, it seemed like any other ghost encounter, until it became something much worse.
No bad spirits, please. Is there any good spirits here that want to contact us?
Unlike most spirits that respond with curiosity or cryptic messages, this one barely engaged with them. It gave only a single name, Grem, before going completely silent.
R E M A.
No matter how many times they asked questions, the board refused to move. It was as if something was wrong. But then they hit on a question that changed everything. The board came back to life. Letter by letter, it spelled out a chilling truth, which turned out that it was murdered. A wave of unease washed over them. Maybe that explained the hostility. Maybe that's why the spirit didn't want to talk. It was angry, bitter, still trapped in the moment of its violent end. They pressed on, trying to uncover the details of its death.
Y J?
Were you murdered?
But just as quickly as it had started communicating, Grem went silent again. A dead end. Until they asked one more question, the planchette began to move. They exchanged confused glances. 184? That didn't make sense. 184 wasn't just old, it was ancient. Thousands of years ago. How could a spirit from that long ago still be lingering here, answering their questions? Their shock deepened as the planchette moved again. This time, it slid deliberately between two letters. Z and O.
Z.
The room fell into a suffocating silence. Caleb's blood ran cold and he ended the game. He knew the rules. He knew the warnings.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Goodbye, 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 goodbye.
Oh shit!
The moment he saw those letters forming, he didn't hesitate. He forced the session to end immediately, ripping his hands away from the board and shutting it down before it could fully come through. His friends barely had time to process what was happening. Some viewers later questioned why they ended it so abruptly. After all, the spirit had still been communicating. Shouldn't they have tried to learn more? But they didn't understand. The moment the planchette moves between Z and O, it means only one thing. Zozo is coming. Zozo, the infamous Ouija board demon, the entity that has terrorized countless people through seances and spirit boards, was moments away from fully manifesting. And once Zozo arrives, it doesn't just talk, it takes, it possesses, it turns the session into something far darker than a simple paranormal experience. And in that moment, Caleb had a choice: keep playing and risk letting it in, or cut it off before the worst could happen. He made the right call. But what if it had been you sitting there, fingers on the board, as the letters spelled out a name no one ever wants to see? Would you have been fast enough to escape? Let me have your answer in the comment. Possessed Session. This next video, uploaded by YouTuber Maximus Murphy on February 20th, 2017, documented what was supposed to be just another night of exploring the paranormal. Just 3 friends, Maximus, Gabe, and Steve, looking for a thrill. But what they found was something they would never forget. Gabe was the one pushing for the Ouija session. He had been acting strange all night, restless, almost manic, like something was pulling him toward the game. He kept insisting that he had to do this, that he had found something, and now he needed proof. So, against their better judgment, they set up the board. The planchette moved almost instantly. The spirit, whatever it was eager to talk. At first the responses seemed harmless, vague answers to their questions. But then things got strange. Steve needed to use the bathroom, so he asked if he could leave. A formality, really. Who asks a ghost for permission?
Yeah.
Okay, I have to go back.
Wait, point to who you're gonna
Mess
Alright,
with.
hold on, point to where you are.
But the second the words left his mouth, the planchette jerked, forcefully pointing in his direction. A chill ran through the group.
Let's go to the bathroom real quick. Can we still play without him in the here? Point to where you are now. Bro.
I think he's trying to point to Steve.
Steve laughed it off and left the room, disappearing down the darkened hallway. But the planchette didn't stop pointing at him. Even though he was gone, Steve eventually came back, but something was wrong. His movements were slow, deliberate. His head tilted slightly as if listening to something no one else could hear. His eyes, not his eyes, darker, unfocused. Then he smiled. Not the usual Steve smile. This one was off. It stretched just a little too wide, lingered just a little too long. Gabe and Maximus exchanged panicked glances. Steve was messing with them, right? This was not a joke.
Yo, stop. What are you doing? Steve, what are you doing?
Steve, are you joking around?
Hell no!
Steve.
I want to go back to GTA.
Wait, what? Nope. Steve, what is wrong with you?
They scrambled back to the Ouija board, hands shaking as they placed their fingers on the planchette. Then, everything stopped. Gabe and Maximus didn't speak, because Steve wasn't just confused, he was angry. And the worst part? He didn't remember a thing.
What's this?
Oh.
What are those? What's that?
S. E. Oh God. E. Is he possessed? Yes. Oh.
Who is he possessed by?
It isn't only young people that plays this Ouija game. Even at times, a whole family do play it to solve some curiosity, just like Brian's family in this coming clip.
What are you doing?
No.
Bro, what the fuck?
I'm not moving.
How'd I get here? But I was
I'm
at
not
home
moving.
playing For
I'm
Honor.
not moving this.
Curious Spirit. This next video was uploaded by FaZe Rug on his YouTube channel in January 2017, documenting an eerie Ouija board session with his parents. It wasn't their first time messing with the board, far from it. In fact, they had owned 2 before. One had been burned and the other, buried deep somewhere in the house, locked away like something too dangerous to touch. But now, it was back. The reason? Strange occurrences had been plaguing their home for years. Unexplained noises, flickering lights, shadows moving when no one was there. Something was off, and FaZe Rug wanted answers. His brother Brandon wanted no part of it. He outright refused to participate, calling the game a mistake, warning them not to do it. They of course called him a coward. Maybe he was, or maybe he just knew better. With candles and incense lit, they prepared to summon whatever lurked in their house. The lights were turned off, leaving them in a dim, flickering glow. The board was placed in the center, fingers lightly resting on the planchette. The game began.
Is there anybody there?
At first, nothing. just the silence of the house breathing around them. Then, movement, slow, deliberate. The planchette glided across the board as if guided by unseen hands. FaZe's mom shivered, rubbing her arms.
I swear to God. But Ryan,
No, I know.
they all have experienced this, but he said do not. Okay, what else? Ask Noah to be nice to us or something.
FaZe and his dad exchanged glances but didn't stop. The questions kept coming. And the answers? They only made things worse. The spirit called itself Noah. It claimed to have died in 1989. That didn't make sense. The house hadn't even been built yet. Then the dog, Bosley, started acting strange.
Are you mad at us?
Ryan.
No, I'm literally not touching.
He's mad.
That's when FaZe's mom lost it. She swore Noah had possessed Bosley. The thought sent a ripple of panic through the room. If spirits could latch onto animals, what else could they do? The urgency to end the game became overwhelming. The session was over, but the fear lingered. The question of who Noah was still haunted them. Did he die there? A car accident? No one knew, and no one wanted to find out. One thing was certain, this board had to go. FaZe's mom refused to ever play again. She couldn't risk it. So, like the first board, this one had to be destroyed. They threw it out. But some things don't stay gone, just like this last clip. Slender Men. This last video was uploaded to Maximus Murphy's YouTube channel in February 2018, documenting yet another reckless Ouija board session. But this time, things were different. This time, they played during the day. Maybe they thought daylight would protect them. Maybe they believed ghosts only lurked in the dark. But they were wrong. So wrong. Murphy and his friends chose an abandoned railway as their setting. They set up the Ouija board right there on the ground.
I did not do that.
What is your name?
Unlike most players who approach the game with caution, Murphy and his friends didn't take it seriously. They laughed, asked ridiculous questions, treating the whole thing like a joke. That was their first mistake. The planchette moves as they ask for the spirit's name.
Bro. Z.
Okay, now I'm not moving this, Max. So before you were?
Z. I could tell he was moving, and now I can tell that he's not. Is your name Zozo?
Everyone knew the name, the stories, the warnings. But instead of quitting while they still could, Murphy and his friends mocked the spirit.
Hey guys.
Are you a female? I know some females who Okay.
They asked stupid questions, taunted it like it was some cheap trick.
What the frick, man?
Are you BFF? Oh, well, we are.
What the frick was that? Sounds like a possum. I think it's bad I jumped on his desk.
That was their second mistake, because Zozo doesn't like to be mocked. And then, a rustling in the trees.
Put the camera back on us. Put the camera back on us. He's dead.
Can we say goodbye? No, boys, today we're going to go hunting for Slender Men.
At first they thought it was an animal, a deer, maybe a stray dog. But then they saw them, figures, tall, unnaturally tall, coming from afar. They weren't alone anymore. Murphy and his friends bolted. They didn't even think about saying goodbye to the board. They just ran. Same thing you would do, right?